Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking the time. Let's share a love of tabletop games by looking at a pre-constructed deck. This is the Theros Beyond Death Blue Theme Booster. I'm a particular fan of these products because I believe that Magic is meant to be played. I do not collect for the value of the cards. I collect for the value of a shared experience at the table. So, one of the things that I think is really special about these, you have 35 cards, it's pre-constructed, there is a theme in here, and all you have to do is throw some land at it, and it works. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and crack this thing open and see what we get. Now, these are low threshold to fun items, and what I mean by that is that you don't have to put a great deal of thought ahead of time in trying to figure out how you're going to make a deck, how you're going to construct things, how you're going to get anything to work. You don't have to think about it at all. That process has already happened. All you have to do is throw some land at it and go. If you can get it open. As much as I like the packaging, it is really in there. Nothing you can do. Just tear it open and go. Alright, so here we are. There's nothing else in here. There's no rule book. There is no fancy special card. I don't believe there are any foils in here, and they also don't come with tokens either. You're going to have this card right here. That thing looks like it got sealed. Look at that. Can you see that? The packaging, come on camera, focus on here. The packaging sealed onto the cards. How many of those have that? I have never seen that before. No. Just this one. Is this my rare card? The one that I said I don't buy the package to play for? Let's find out. It is. It is. Wave Break Hippocamp. 2 and a blue. Enchantment creature. Horse fish. Whenever you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, draw a card. Tritons search for omens in its wake. It's a 2/2 creature, and mine has a nice ridged feel right across the top there. Look at that. That's really funny. And this is not a token, so they might have token cards in here, cards that ask you to play tokens, but you're going to have to furnish those yourself because they did not provide it to be played with. So let's take a look and see what else we've got going on in here. Sage of Mysteries, Human Wizard, Shimmer Wing Chimera, a Vexing Gull. We've got a Stern Dismissal, which is an instant. Riptide Turtle. We have a Nyxborn Sea Guard, which is a Merfolk Soldier. We're going to have a One with the Stars, which is an aura. A Stinging Lionfish, which is a fish. Brine Giant. Omen of the Sea, an enchantment. Vexing Gull again. Stern Dismissal again. Sleep of the Dead, a sorcery. Elite Instructor. Triton Wave Rider. Memory Drain. Threnody Singer. Calife, Beloved by the Sea. Beloved of the Sea. It's a nice card. Thirst for Meaning. Witness of Tomorrows, the image sake of the box. This is an enchantments creature. It's a Sphinx, 4 and a blue. It's flying, 3 and a blue, gives you a Scry 1. Flavor text says, as the future slips its way into the present, it ceases to be my concern. 3/4 creature. Sleep of the Dead, Elite Instructor. Whirlwind Denial, it's an instant. Arlios Enraptured, it's a legendary human. Stern Dismissal, Riptide Turtle. Naiad of the Hidden Coves is a nymph. Chained to Memory. Sea God Scorn, Brine Giant again, Omen of the Sea, Towering Wave Mystic, Ichthyomorphosis, Enchantment Aura, Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a blue fish with base power and toughness of 0/1. It's right up there with Turn to Frog. And then Shoal Kraken, which is a Kraken, 3/5 creature. That's a lot of fun. So, let's go ahead and take a look here at a few themes, because that's kind of the point of this, right? So, Constellation, enchanted creature loses all abilities. Whenever Towering Wave Mystic deals damage, target player puts that many cards from the top of their library into the graveyard. This one scries. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each enchantment you control. Return up to 3 target creatures and or enchantments to their owner's hands. Target creature gets -4, -0, and scry. Let's put this one in the scry pile. As long as it's not your turn, spells you cast 1 less to cast. Pardon my verbiage on that. Flash and Defender. Return target creature or enchantments to an opponent's hand. Arleos, Enraptured, enters the battlefield tapped. Arleos doesn't untap during your untap step if you control a reflection. When Arleos enters the battlefield, create a 3/2 blue reflection creature token. Okay, that's pretty unique. For each spell and ability your opponents control, counter it unless its controller plays 4. It's counter. When Elite Instructor enters the battlefield, draw a card and then discard a card. Draw and discard. I'm not seeing quite of a theme on this yet. Puts that many cards? No? Alright. Tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, and exile 3. Scry. Where's my scry pile? Draw 3 cards. Creatures and enchantments you control have spells your opponents cast that target this permanent cost 1 more to cast. When Thernati Singer enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets -X till the end of turn, which is my devotion to blue. There's another scry card. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, this gains flying. When Elite Instructor enters the battlefield, draw a card and then discard. Tap the creature, escape. There's another mechanic. Return target creature or enchantment to its owner's hand. That one was down here. Flash and flying. Flash, scry. Cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast your first spell, you may tap or untap land. Enchanted permanent is an enchantment and loses all other card types. Nothing. Flash Defender. Return. Flash Flying. Flying at the beginning of your upkeep. Return up to 1 target enchantment to its owner's hand. And Constellation, which was down here. So I've got a couple Constellation cards. Let's see if I mis-sorted anything else here. Library into their hand. Draw and discard. Loses abilities. Flying. Lose abilities. Flash and flying. 1 less. So, Constellation. Nothing. Escape. That's the only escape card. Alright, so we've got the rare card with the grooves across the top. Whenever you cast your first spell, draw a card. So we're drawing cards. Drawing a card. This is kind of a mill down here. Draw, mill, back to your hand, back to your hand. Draw and discard. Cost more. That one was down there. Draw 3 and discard 2. There's an escape, right? Sleep the Dead, we got 2 of those. There's another one there. Return up to 3 target creatures to the hand. So we've got drawing cards here, we've got returning cards to your hand here, and then Wave Towering Mystic deals damage. Target player puts that many cards from the top of their library into their graveyard. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, gains flying. Not much I can do with that. So, here we go. We've got cards that scry. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lets you look ahead. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cards here, which will let you draw cards. So you know what you've got coming. You have an ability to access it whenever you want it. You've got returning cards to hands. Return to your hand, return to your hand. At the beginning of your upkeep, return 1 target enchantment you control to its owner's hand. So, you put things on the table. You've got your deck. You can look ahead in your deck. You can draw from your deck if you want it early. And you can keep it from getting cast off the table by putting it back into your hand. So, it looks like the theme here is an interesting form of control in the sense that you're not controlling what your player is doing, you're controlling what you're doing. What your player is going to do is what they are going to do. And the rest of the cards kind of fill the rest of that out with some other fun things to cast. Let's look real quick here at the mana curve, and then we can call it a video. So we've got 1 here. Three and another 7, right? Brine Giant, we got 2 of those. So this is the mana curve. If you can get your way up to Brine Giant, then that's awesome. Oh, there's a couple more down here, 3 and 4 that I missed. So this is what it looks like. It's a deck. Honestly, I think this might actually be some fun to play because I'm excited about the prospect of being able to look ahead in my deck, put the cards out there, and then decide whether or not those cards get recast. It doesn't look like there's a lot of reason to recast things other than you just don't want your opponents to take stuff away from you. But by and large, you know what? If it works, then it works. So let's go ahead and just throw some mana at this and see if it's a deck. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you again in the next video.